Now, next person. Oh, shit. Goddamn. Dog scared the shit out of me. Hey, y'all, what's poppin'? It's Kabaddi Keenan back here. Know it's been a hot minute, but seeing as the PKL 12 auction just took place this past weekend, I figured there's no better time to hop back on with y'all and talk about it. I figured we'll see how far I get with day one and kind of go from there. But just going down the list of everyone who was auctioned on day one, obviously the person who started things off was Mohamed Dreza Shotlu, who I don't think anyone expected him to go for any less than 2 core, which he did not. He went for 2.23 to the Gujarat Giants, and not sure that's the destination I would have liked to have seen him go to. I wouldn't have minded him staying at Haryana because I feel like he was a really good fit for them. I feel like he meshed really well with the coach. So it's a little sad to see that they didn't retain him, but I also kind of figured that they'd have a hard time retaining him. So that wasn't too surprising, but I kind of wish that he would have went to a different team other than the Giants. But it is what it is. It happens, right? It's Kabaddi. It's the auction. Players can go wherever, or they have no control over that. So but anyway, he went for 2.23 to the Gujarat Giants. We'll see how the rest of the team shakes up. I was kind of hoping again that he'd go to a team that might be competitive. Not to say that I don't think that the Giants will be competitive this year. You never know. But I think there are other teams out there that are more well-suited already for him to possibly have slid into and help them win a championship, which would have been kind of cool to see if Shotlu can go to another team this season and win a third championship with a third different team. I think that would have been really cool to see him potentially do that. Obviously, that chance is still there, that opportunity is still there, but I think that hill might be a little bit steeper to climb with the Giants. Now, the next person that went was Fazal Atrajali, who went to Dabang Delhi for only 30 lakh, which kind of surprised me. I kind of figured he'd go for a little bit higher, but I do know that he is getting a little older, so I get it. But to me, I think I kind of got a discount with him, to be honest, because, I mean, he's still really, really good. I know he got off to a slow start last season, but I feel like that second half, not even second half, I would say like 2/3 through the season, he really kind of put it together and really started to get the points and have the types of performances I think people would be expecting from him year-round. He just got off to a slow start. I think he was trying to do a little bit too much. That's what I saw whenever I was watching him play. I just felt like he was doing too much or trying to do too much early in the season. Sorry, hold on for a second. This guy mowing the lawn, so a little loud. Okay, hopefully it's not too bad right now. But I feel like he was trying to do too much early in the season, and he was just overcompensating and making mistakes and errors that I just don't think he would normally make, and I think he cleaned that up about 2/3 halfway through the season. So I think, honestly, the band got a steal with him, because I think any team that has him on their roster benefits, because he's such a strong leader. He's such a good presence, I feel like, in that locker room, and really helps guide a team and gives them a lot of structure. So I think that's not a bad move for Dabang to bring him in to help solidify that defense. So good for them. I think they got to steal with him. Now, the next person who went was Pawan, and he went to the Tamil Talibas, which I was a little concerned about, but we'll get to who else the Talibas got a little bit later. But they only got him for 59.5 lakh, which is crazy to me. I know Pawan got hurt, and they might have had like the injury discount with him because he kind of keeps getting hurt lately. But to be able to get that caliber of player at 5'15", 59.5 lakh. They didn't have to pay a crore for him. It's crazy. Like, that is insane that they were able to get away with that steal. I mean, I think that might be the buy of the tournament. I mean, the buy of the auction, to be honest, because if Pawan stays healthy, my God, he's going to go off. I mean, he was in the top 10 in raid points for most of last season without playing most of the games. He only played like 13 games, and he was still almost at like 100 points and was like in the top 10 for like the longest time. So if he stays healthy, the Tumultuali was legitimately got the steal of the auction. So I'm actually really happy about that buy for them. I think, again, if he stays healthy along with, you know, the other signing that they got and who they already have on their team, I think the Tumultuali are going to be absolutely dangerous this season. Like, seriously. Now, the next person that went was Bharat Huda. He went to the Telugu Titans for 81 lakh, which I'm not mad about it. I actually really like, since they lost Pawan, that they went out and sort of tried to find a replacement, a bit of a younger replacement, and someone who might not be as injury prone and might be able to like help them consistently throughout the season. So I actually really like this move by them. Bharat Huda is kind of like one of those players that confuses me a bit, because at times he looks absolutely amazing and unstoppable, but I feel like other times he kind of makes these mental errors and it like costs him and his team points. That's okay. I think he's a really good player. I think he's going to go a long way with helping the Telugu Titans stay competitive off of the back of last season, which I think I'm not alone in saying. It was nice to see the Telugu Titans play well last season and be competitive and almost make the playoffs. That was really great for them and their fan base. So I'm hoping that they can keep that going this season, because it's nice to see a team like that sort of drag themselves out from the dungeon, out of the bottom of of the well, and sort of turn their team around and get competitive in the league. So I'm really happy actually with this signing, because I think it's just a really smart sort of way to hopefully try and stay competitive. Now, the next person that went was Vijay Malik. He also went to the Telugu Titans, but I won't say he went to the Telugu Titans. They retained him through a FBM final bid match, so which I think was crucial, because he was obviously the leader for that team once Pawan went down and really spearheaded that offense. And I think it was really great for them to be able to bring him back, because, again, I think with what he did last season for the Titans, you couldn't ask any more from Vijay Malik. So happy that they brought him back to tag alongside Bharat Huda. I think they're going to make a nice little duo. And I'm blanking on the third Raider's name right now. I'm going to, at some point, do a sort of team review for each team. So once I do that, I'll see the third Raider's name, who I'm blanking on right now. But I think those three, I think that's going to make a nice trio of rating to really lead that offense to, again, hopefully stay competitive and potentially make the playoffs this season for the Telugu Titans. Now, the next person... God damn. Sorry about that. Dog scared the shit out of me. I guess what happens when you don't pay attention. See, this is why probably I shouldn't be doing this, but it's okay. I've been trying to get out and walk a little bit more, so I figured why not record these videos while I'm out on the walk. But that's one of the downsides of recording when you're walking. You're not fully paying attention to, things in the neighborhood like you probably should. I didn't have my head on a swivel, and I got caught slipping. The dog scared me. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, the next person who went was Shubham Shindik, also to the Telugu Titans. Again, I am not mad at what the Telugu Titans did in the auction. You can tell that they're really putting forth the effort to stay competitive, and they did that with bringing on Shubham Shindik, one of the best defenders in the entire league. So they got some players to obviously increase and shore up their offense and their rating with Bharat and Vijay. And then to bring in Shubham, I think that's massive. And especially, I can't remember seeing if they kept Christian Duel, but if they did manage to keep Christian Duel, which I believe they did because I didn't see Christian Duel go in the auction, I think he's still with the team, which to have Christian Duel and Shubham Shinde holding down your defense, I think that's massive. So I'm actually really excited about what the Telugu Titans did in the auction this season, heading into PKL 12. Now, next person, Ankush Rathli, went to the Bengaluru Bulls for 30 lakh, which to me is a bit of a crime. I think Ankush is worth a lot more than that. I think he's a really good defender. I don't know how teams sort of let him slip through their fingers to the Bengaluru Bulls for only 30 lakh, but I think the Bulls got a steal with him. I think he's going to help that team be better than what they were last year, because obviously they were just absolutely atrocious. I didn't really see that coming last year, them being that bad, but they were quite terrible. So, and I think they know that because they completely, basically washed their hands clean of almost everybody that was on the squad last season, kind of starting fresh, and I think probably gonna be trying to, rebuild in a sense with young players and maybe some spot veterans that can, bring some experience to the team that they're probably just not going to have this season. I don't think they're going to stay competitive, but hopefully they'll be better than they were last season. So Ankush is probably going to be one of the players that they really lean on, and to get someone that you're likely going to heavily lean on for only 30 lakh, absolute steal for them. So I do kind of wish Ankush went to a better team, but it is what it is. Players got to go somewhere. Teams got to have people to play for them, and that does not stop with the Bengaluru Bulls. So they do need people. And I know even though they're probably going through a rebuild right now, you still don't want to put a bad product out there. So hopefully Ankush kind of, softens that blow a little bit for them. Now, next person who went was Deepak Singh to the Patna Pirates, and they retained him actually through final bid match for 2 years, which honestly, good for them, because he is a really solid defender, and he also contributes from time to time in the rating department. And to be able to have him and retain, he's not going to be that player that really stands out for anyone, but kind of provides that solid linchpin glue that no one really notices. I think to be able to retain a player like that for the next 2 years, massive. I think that was a really smart play by the Pirates. To be honest, I think Patna Pirates don't get enough credit for how they go about constructing their teams. And I say that only because I massively sort of undermined them last season, because I was not really fond of how they went about the auction. But obviously seeing how things panned out with them and how well they did last season, it's like I feel like I can't question them anymore, because they obviously know what they're doing. So next person was Yogesh Dahaya. He went to the Bulls for 1.125 crore, which, again, Bengaluru Bulls got to pay some money. They got to do something to try and be competitive. Again, I don't think they will be, but they got to do what they can to try and put the best product that they can out on the mat. And obviously, Yogesh Dahaya, as one of the better defenders in the league, is going to help that with them, which, again, I think is actually pretty smart, because I think they know that they're going to be struggling this season. So they're going to need as much help defensively as possible, and I think that's why they went out and got Ankush and then followed it up with bidding so highly on him, just because I think they know they're going to be in trouble, and they're just going to need, people who can really hold down the defense as much as possible. So good for them getting Yogesh. I'm sure Yogesh would have preferred to go somewhere else, but it's what it is. Next, the Bang Delhi retained Ashim Malik, and they retained him for the next 2 years. Congratulations. Best move you could have made for your team. Obviously, one of the best raiders in the entire league. I think the Bang would be absolutely lost without him. So keeping him was an absolute must, and they were able to do that not only for this season, but for the next season as well. So not much to say there. Obviously, we all know Ashu's capabilities and what he does with the Bang. So good for them. Next, we have Arjun Deshwal, who is the other player I was talking about that went to the Tamil Talibas. Like I said, I think Tamil really made a statement this auction by getting not only Pawan, but Arjun Deshwal. Them two paired up with, and I'm going to blank on his name. It's not Naveen, but to pair up with that third raider that is the one who always leads the Tamil Talibas, that raiding trio is going to be absolutely dominant, especially if all three can stay healthy all season long. My God, Tamil might be the most dangerous offense in PKL 12 this season. It's going to be insane. It's going to be so much fun to watch them and see how it pans out, because again, on paper, they seem like the team to beat offensively. Obviously, their defense, we'll see. Again, I'm going to go back and look at their roster when I do the team reviews. But again, Tamil, great job this auction. Really impressed with y'all. We can tell that you guys are putting forth an effort to be more than what you have been these last several seasons, where, again, I always get excited about Tamil because they get off to really good starts, but then they just like tank towards the bottom. So I'm hoping that that's not the case this season, and that they actually hold it together all season long and can be one of those teams that, while didn't make the playoffs last year, they're going to make it this season. Now we got Devonk Dalal, who went to the Bengal Warriors for 2.205 crore. Really big bid for him. Not surprising, obviously, given he massively broke out of nowhere last season to be the top raider. Yeah, no one saw him coming last season. Absolute monster, beast, destroyed dang near every single team that he played. So not surprised that he went for over 2 crore. Now, my one concern about that is that he's only done it for one season, and putting that much faith, not to say that it's not warranted. Again, he was absolutely dominant. So this might be one of those cases where a player just figures it out and is just completely dominant from that point on. Almost kind of like, I know a lot of you probably don't follow baseball here, but baseball here in America, there is a player for the New York Yankees. His name's Aaron Judge, and he kind of had a late breakout in his career. He's a big guy and lots of things to work on to be the player that he's become, but he finally figured it out, and man, oh man, is he an absolute monster. Bar none, one of the best players in the entire league for years now. So that very much could apply to Devonk, where he just figured it out and he's just going to be a dominant player for, the next few seasons. But nonetheless, he's only done it for 1 year, so it is a gamble to spend that much money on him. But good for the Bengal Warriors trying to bring in somebody to make that offense much better than it was last season. Next, we got, Amir Bastami went to the Bang Delhi. He's not really a player that's, a lot of people are going to know. But good for them bringing in somebody to help that defense out. Ankit Jaglan went to the Patna Pirates. They retained him through FBM at 1.5725 crore. Again, another player that is going to hold down that defense. It's really, really good. So again, smart play, smart moves by the Patna Pirates. I just really give credit to that organization, because I don't know, they just seem to make the right moves. Next was Nitish Kumar, who went to the Bengal Warriors. They retained him 1 year FBM. Again, another solid defender that they're going to need. Great move, retaining him. Next was Sankit Sawant. Don't really know who he is, but he went for 40.5 lakh. believe he's a defender. And then Mahinder Singh went to the UP Yodas for 20 lakh. Nothing crazy, same thing. Rinku Singh went to U Mumba for 20 lakh 1 year. Nothing really to go over here. Again, same thing with Sanjay Dul, who went to the Bangalore Bulls for 60 lakh. I believe he's a defender, but I'm not too terribly familiar with him, so apologies if I'm sort of overlooking a player that's better than what I'm thinking he is just because he's not a household name. Please let me know in the comments. Guman Singh went to the UP Yodas for 1.0725 crore. I think that's a great signing for them because UP Yodas need some Raiders. Obviously, I think they did really well last year. I mean, they did do really well. I don't think they made it to the playoffs, so they were very much a surprise team for me last season. But they need someone to keep them competitive, and I think Guman Singh is a great person to kind of come in and hopefully keep that ball rolling for them. Then we got Pardeep Narwal, who is obviously sort of the story of the day one auction, and that Pardeep, the legend, went unsold. That's right, which in all honesty, I am not surprised about, and I don't say I'm happy about it, but I do think it might be time for him to hang up the shoes, because just these past seasons, he has not looked great. He's looked slow. He looks lost out there on the mat. He almost shows no energy, almost like he doesn't even want to be out there anymore. So I'm not surprised that he went unsold, because he just really hasn't shown what you would want someone of his caliber. Hey, puppy. Hi. He just really hasn't shown what you would want a player of his caliber, a legend like that, to show on the mat. And not to say that I think he's lost it, because I don't know Pardeep. I don't know what's in his heart, what's in his mind, but it just looks like he's been done for the last couple seasons now. So can't blame any team for not wanting him this season. You never know. Maybe he might join one later on. There's still plenty of time before the season starts. So just because he went unsold right now does not mean that we won't see him this season. So just time will tell if a team will bring him on before the season starts, or maybe even during. You never know. Injuries do happen. So next was Mahinder Singh, who went to the Patna Pirates for 20 lakh. Now again, can't blame the Bengal Warriors for letting him go. I think he's obviously lost that zest a little bit, but I do think it was a good signing for the Patna Pirates, again, making just very smart moves to make that squad as strong as possible. So to be able to get someone like him, who's got so much experience, can probably help some of these younger Raiders in tactics, in practice and whatnot, and really hopefully help them grow as players. I don't think that's a bad move at all. I think he could be that quiet leader within that squad, because from what I can tell, he seems kind of like a quiet guy who just kind of does his thing, and he's a leader through his actions, his play. But I do think he could potentially come into that squad and sort of quietly lead and provide experience and knowledge to these younger players who are really good. You got, God, why do I keep blanking on these guys' names? It's killing me right now. But there are two young Raiders that I think they're going to probably lean on, like Sadaka, and I'm drawing a blank on another guy's name, who was right alongside Devank last season. But if he can kind of coach them up, they might be a dangerous team as well, rating-wise, especially if he can manage to sort of find that fountain of youth, if you will, a little bit, to play better than what he did last season. Next, we got Nitin Dankar, who went to the Jaipur Pink Panthers for just over 1 crore. I believe he's a defender, if you don't get me wrong, sorry. Some of these players I still have a difficulty time remembering exactly who they are, but I do believe Nitin is a defender, and clearly one of the better ones if he's going for over 1 crore. So good for the Jaipur Pink Panthers, because they just missed out on the playoffs. I know that squad, that owner, they do not like missing the playoffs. So they're going to make every effort to sort of regain that and get back into that this season, and hopefully win their 3rd championship. Manjeet, he went to Jaipur Pink Panthers again. Jaipur making some late moves to try and make that squad stronger, because again, they do not like missing out on the playoffs, and this is their attempt to try and get back into that by strengthening their squad with Manjeet, who only went for 40 lakh. That's kind of crazy to me. I think they got a steal there, to be honest. He's, I think, worth more than 40 lakh. I think they got a great deal here. So good job for them bringing in someone of that caliber at that low of a price. Next, we got Sachin, who went to the Paneri Paulton. I kind of didn't see that coming. He went for 1.0575 crore. Good signing for them because they need someone to really hopefully lead their rating department and be more of a true rater, because I think last season, even though season 9, or season 10, they really kind of changed the game in the way not only they play, but almost kind of how the game of Kabaddi will probably be played from this point on, by having a lot of all-arounders who do a good job not only within rating but defending. And I think that's what really helped catapult them to the championship in season 10. But I feel like season 11, you saw that sort of crumble just a little bit, because they almost had too many all-rounders and not one real true standout raider. So I think what this signing is doing is sort of correcting that by having at least one really solid, dependable, true raider in Sachin. And then the last person on day one was Naveen Kumar, who went to the Haryana Steelers. Great move by the Haryana Steelers. You lost Shatlu, you lost a big component, and what better way to sort of, even though obviously two different sides of the coin, with Shatlu mainly being a defender who has transformed himself into a great all-rounder, but to bring in Naveen Kumar to help lead that team offensively, I think is massive. They've got some great young players, especially great young Raiders who we saw really step up last season and show out and help lead that team to a championship. So to bring in someone to bolster that even more, and Naveen, great job. I'm clapping my hands. I'd clap my hands if I could. I think this only makes their squad better and keeps them competitive and keeps them a contender to win the championship this season. So those were the day one auctions. I feel like this video got a little long. I was a little bit long-winded with talking about some of these guys. So I think I will do a part 2 going over day 2, because I do think there are some interesting names that went. I do want to go over the people who went in day 2, some of them. So I will do a day 2 video separate from day 1. But glad to be back. I'm really excited. Kabaddi's back, and yeah, I'm super excited and to bring more videos to you guys. But thanks for checking us out, and please like and subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next video.